Good afternoon po, Mr. President. So first, we'd like to introduce ourselves first.
Okay.
So as I'm Agripino John Patrick M. Gaan po, AJ, you can call me AJ, and I'm from West Visayas State University College of Law, and of course, the student of the First Lady.
Okay.
Ako naman po, si Janine Lagbawan from Polytechnic University of the Philippines, taking up
Okay.
journalism po, and second year college pa lang po ako.
Okay. All right.
And I'm Kathleen Mirionte naman po, from University of the East Manila, fourth year psychology student po, sir.
Oh, she's going to
Yes.
going to analyze. Please, will somebody explain me to me, Panda?
But before anything else po, we'd like to ask your impression because we have seen in your previous podcast, it was seasoned broadcast journalists and us ordinary citizens of the country and students are here in front of you. How are you feeling right now po, Mr.
Great.
President?
I much prefer talking to young people, actually, because I always, of course, there are people in your life na talagang kailangan pinapakinggan mo. But with the way things are moving, talking to young people is there's always something new. There's always something, but there is always something new. But they are the people who tell us what's going on. This is what's happening. They'll take away. Matagal na nag-paradigm shift ito. You have to think in another way. So, I like it. I enjoy it.
Since we are all Gen Z po, ano po ba yung klase ng buhay? If you're part of our generation or Gen Zs, how do you think or how do you see yourself po as a Gen Z? More on po ba nag-aaral or party? Ano po ba yung kind of life you would like to have as Gen Z?
I was already a geek before the word geek was invented. I was one of those people who just, I don't know, they just pick up all this information, pick up all of it. I would be so happy because the level of information that's available to everyone now, not necessarily a good thing, but the level of it, the volume of information that's available now. My God, it's so interesting. You can look up anything. I wish I had ChatGPT when I was having to write essays and it's 2 in the morning and hindi mo pa natatapos yung essay mo.
So, sir, you mentioned po about the use of ChatGPT po in our generation, sa Gen Z po. So, one thing that concerns me po about the ChatGPT or AI in general po is that it's undeniably a threat to us po, especially students, employees, sa workforce po ng Pilipinas. So, I'm wondering po na kung magkakaroon po tayo ng regulation about AI po, na pwede po nating implement nationwide.
I know, but we are all discussing, pinag-uusapan namin yan dahil sinasabi kahit anong gawin natin, nandiyan parating, hindi parating ang AI, nandiyan na. Dadami lang ng dadami yan, dadalaki. I was doing making a list of subjects around AI that I wanted to discuss during the ASEAN. So, sinimulaan ko, simple lang, AI and education, AI and infrastructure, AI and renewables. Walang katapusan yung listahan. It does not end. Yes. The longer you want, the more time you spend on it, the longer that list will become because it's going to touch everything. And it's important for us to understand it. That's why it's not so easy. May kasabihan yan eh. Legislation is always years behind technology. And the reason is, generally, legislators do not immediately understand technology. Meron medyo techie na nakakaintindi, pero karamihan hindi. So, what will you legislate? What's the best way for the Philippines to take full advantage, to maximize the use of AI? The other side of the equation is, what are the things na kailangan bantayan natin? Ayan na, yung mga fake news, yung mga misinformation, yung mga disinformation, etc., etc. I wanted to ask you guys, there's one thing I don't understand about the life on the digital life, is the bullying.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Because I think po with our generation and the succeeding generations after us, most of the airtime or the screen time, we are spending a lot of time on gadgets and social media.
Yeah.
And when you are going to experience such bullying, you are being put into public scrutiny, wherein some of the people would get the ride on that specific issue, or like would the it's not only the one person, but the comment also of yung mga ibang tao din
yung
na nakikiride without even knowing the context.
In the previous years or yung mga taon na physically yung bullying po na nangyayari, when it comes to the bullying po on this generation, nag-i-stay po talaga siya. Even if years passed by, you can always go back or lagi pong uungkatin ng tao yan. Hindi po siya talagang mawawala sa sistema nila. Lalo pa po kapag kilala ka pong tao.
Siguro po it's the rise then of the cancel culture in our generation. Wherein po
Isa pa yun.
yung cancel culture po, one single mistake and all the things na nagawa mong maganda would be, matatabunan na po siya ng isang problema na nagawa mo, which would greatly affect one's mental health. Actually po, ako din po, I mean, as someone din po who has experienced such difficulties, mental health po kasi, especially in our generation, is still a taboo. We don't treat it na parang how important it is. Feel ko po kulang lang po talaga na we let the children understand that there is life outside the social media world.
Yes.
That you should get to experience
That's
life.
that's the only conclusion I can arrive at. Yun ang buong buhay ng kung sino man yun, ano. Basta yung buong buhay niya is online. So what goes online, that's the only important,
Yes.
that's only things, not what goes on in real life.
I think po, para po ma-prevent po natin siya in some way, would be, of course, to educate proper online etiquette po talaga. Netiquette, if what we call it po. Ganyan po. Kasi, yung social media is a very huge part of our daily lives na po talaga eh.
We are, in the Philippines, we are one of the greatest users of the internet. Maybe it's just my own experience. But some of the people that bullied me in school became some of my best friends. They really did. Oh, di ba? Naging kaibigan mo eh. Okay naman talaga eh. Yun lang, siguro, nakita ka, gusto ko lang buwisitin, di ba? Di ba?
The President directed Congress to prioritize the following proposed legislative measures: Anti-Dynasty Bill, Independent People's Commission Act, Party List System Reform Act, Citizens Access and Disclosure of Expenditures for National Accountability or CADENA Act, to institutionalize transparency and accountability on public finance. In a LEDAC meeting this morning, the President also instructed both houses to take a closer look at the 4 bills and prioritize the passage as soon as possible. Present during the LEDAC were Senate President Vicente Sotto III, House Speaker Faustino D. III, and Majority Leader Sandro Marcos and other congressional leaders. The LEDAC also agreed on the timeliness, or rather timelines, for the passage of the General Appropriations Bill and the submission of the enrolled bill for the President's signature.
Sa harap ng mga lider ng Kongreso, personal na ipinarating ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang 4 na mahalagang panukalang batas na nais daw niyang gawing prioridad. Yan ang Anti-Dynasty Bill, Independent People's Commission Act, Party List System Reform Act, at CADENA Act o Citizens Access and Disclosure of Expenditures for National Accountability. Nangyari raw yan sa pulong ng LEDAC o Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council, kung saan present sina Senate President Tito Sotto, House Speaker Faustino D. at House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos.
Mga kabrigada, inatasan ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ang Kongreso na bigyang prioridad ang 4 na panukalang batas na nakatuon sa reforma sa politika at pagpapalakas ng transparency sa pamahalaan. Kabilang sa mga panukalang na ispagtunan ng agarang aksyon ay ang Anti-Dynasty Bill, Independent People's Commission Act, Party List System Reform Act at ang Citizens Access and Disclosure of Expenditure for National Accountability o CADENA Act na layong gawing institusyonal ang mas bukas at mas accountable na pamamahala sa paggamit ng pondo ng bayan. Sa pulong ng Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council o LEDAC kaninang umaga, hiniling ng Pangulo sa Senado at mababang kapulungan.
Sa harap ng mga lider ng Kongreso, personal na ipinarating ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang 4 na mahalagang panukalang batas na nais daw niyang gawing prioridad. Yan ang Anti-Dynasty Bill, Independent People's Commission Act, Party List System Reform Act, at CADENA Act o Citizens Access and Disclosure of Expenditures for National Accountability. Nangyari raw yan sa pulong ng LEDAC o Legislative Executive Development Advisory Council, kung saan present sina Senate President Tito Sotto, House Speaker Faustino D. at House Majority Leader Sandro Marcos.
$14.9 million po mga kababayan ang nasabat ng PIDEA na droga na ipupuslit sana dito sa Pilipinas, subalit na agarang nadakip po no ng ng PIDEA itong papalabas na droga, 'di ba? So ganyan po ang importante rito wala pong nasaktan. Okay? Hindi po kagaya nung panahon ni Digong, 'di ba? O pipilitin ka papalabasin na nanlaban ka, papatayin ka, tapos syempre may pera 'yun. May reward ang mga pulis doon. Kota 'yun eh. So ibang-iba talaga itong panahon ni PBBM at panahon ni Digong. Kasi yung panahon ni Digong, puro salita, puro yabang, puro pagpatay. Yun lang naman ang tumatak sa atin pagpatay. 'Di ba? Pag tinanong mo ang mga taong bayan, majority kasi yung mga DDS kulangot, onti na lang yan Ang dami na nga nagbaliktaran, dami na nga nagmumurang mga vlogger ni Digong sa kanya 'Di ba? Take note vlogger niya dati. Inonse ng mga nagbabayad. Ayun, tinitira si Digong ngayon, ang mga Duterte, 'di ba? Yan ang malala, 'di ba? Yan ang malalang korupsyon, mga kababayan, 'di ba? Pagka tinanong natin ang mga kababayan natin Pilipino, majority sasabihin, anong naaalala mo sa pag-upo ni Digong? Patayan po. Putang ina, puro patayan na lang. So eto, malinaw na sistema ng matinong pamumuno, 'di ba? Lahat ay dumadaan sa due process, 'di ba? Kagaya nung kay Digong, 'di ba? Dinaan sa due process, ni Trillanes, nakulong, 'di ba? Kagaya ng kay Bato, dumaan sa due process, makukulong. Malapit nang maranasan ni Batong maging karton. So eto, comment down below guys kung anong naalala nyo kay panahon ni Digong. 'Di ba patayan? Ako talaga naalala ko puro patayan na lang. Mayat maya merong nakatimbuang diyan sa alsada. Balita sa 24 oras, sa ABS-CBN, sa social media may tumimbuang. Puro patayan, 'di ba?
Sa mas pinabilis na sistema ni PBBM, mas nababantayan ang ating borders. Ang pagsabat sa halos 10 kilo ng marijuana ay pruweba ng modernong intel at mabilis na pagtugon. Sa bagong Pilipinas, inuuna ang malasakit. Ngayon, mas malinaw ang direksyon sa laban kontra droga. Sa mabilis na aksyon ni PBBM, nasabat ang 14.9 na milyon na marijuana sa Naya nang walang nasaktan. Inuuna ngayon ang seguridad at kapakanan ng mamamayan. Ipinakita ni PBBM na hindi kailangang madugo ang laban para maging epektibo. Ang Naya Operation ay nagpakitang kayang manalo sa droga ng may respeto at koordinasyon.
Totoo po, mga kababayan, na ang ating mahal na Pangulo at ang ating first family ay handa pong magpa-lifestyle check. Katunayan po na wala silang tinatago, wala silang kailangang itago sa publiko at sa sambayan ng Pilipino, 'di ba? Kasi alam naman natin na ilan lang naman ang kritiko ng ating mahal na Pangulo dahil some of DDS, mga kababayan, kulangot na lang bilang na lang sa daliri. Yung gada araw may kulangot ka, yun, ganun na lang bilang noon. Ganun na lang bilang ng mga DDS, mga kababayan. At eto, para pagpapatunay na walang tinatago ang pamilya Marcos, mga kababayan, willing po sila, open na open po ang ating mahal na Pangulo at ang First Lady, ang First Family na magpa-lifestyle check po. 'Di ba? Eto ang tanong. Si Aimee kailan magpapa-DNA? Aimee, baka naman. Kami naman mga loyalista, kami naman yung pwede bang mag-request sa'yo? DNA naman dyan. Eto, magandang balita, mga kababayan. Good news na naman dahil pinapasulong po talaga ng ating mahal na Pangulo. Talagang pinapapush niya to the highest level na mabigyan ang ating mga kababayang mahihirap nating mga kababayan, yung mga walang bahay, mga hindi hirap magpundar or walang kakayanan talaga na makapagpundar ng kanilang tirahan. Dahil pinupush po ng ating mahal na Pangulo itong 4PH housing, mga kababayan, para sa ating mga mamamayang Pilipino na walang kakayanan na bumili ng bahay or kahit na mag-down or mag-monthly. or ng ano ng sabihin na nating talagang hindi nila afford, okay? Para sa mga itong project na to ay para sa mamamayang Pilipino. Alam natin na ang 4PH ay madami na. Okay, kalat na po. Pero gusto pa rin ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos Jr., mga kababayan, na i-push through pa. O ng sagaran, talagang porsigihin pa. Okay, itong pagpapadami ng 4PH housing, mga kababayan ko. No, ito ang talagang good news. Ito yung talaga may nagagawa, mga kababayan. Kaya hindi natin ipagkakaila, mga kababayan, kung gaano kagaling at grabe magmahal sa sambayan ng Pilipino ang mga Marcos, especially ito si PBBM. Wag na natin isama si Amy, Duterte na yun eh. Yung literal na Marcos lang, yung legit na Marcos lang, okay? Yung hindi kasi walang Marcos na tuta. Tandaan nyo yan. Walang Marcos na aso-aso, okay? Si Amy lang yun. Di ba? Paki-share ng video na to, mga kababayan, para malaman ng ating mga kababayan na hindi pa nalalaman itong 4PH housing para po sa kanila ito. Especially yung mga walang kakayanan po. Kung paano nyo po yan, paano po kayo makaka-avail niyan, pwede po kayong pumunta sa website ng 4PH Housing. Okay? Search nyo lang po yan, mga kababayan. Yan po ay programa ng ating mahal na Pangulo para sa sambayan ng Pilipinong hindi afford makabili ng bahay. Okay? Ito po, muli ang inyong lingkod, Berador Pico at your service. Spread this good news. Share, mga kababayan. Salamat po.